How to Save the World and Other Things on My To-Do List. One Woman's Totally Serious Guide to Inner World Domination by Lizzie Allan, Creator of Hilarapy. Chapter 11. This is Bigger Than You. There is something important to understand as you come into this way of living. Your life is not just about you. Everything you've been doing through these chapters, the noticing, the choosing, the practicing, the returning, the slowly, steadily building of a new inner world, none of it was ever just for your own peace. Yes, your peace matters. Yes, your expansion matters. Yes, you deserve a beautiful, full, freely expressed life, and everything we have talked about in this book is in service of that. But there is something larger happening here too. Because when you shift, it doesn't stop with you. When you heal, something else heals. When you expand, something else expands. When you bring more love, more truth, more light into your own life, it ripples. Far beyond what you can see. Far beyond what you will ever be able to measure. Say this out loud before we go any further. I am connected to all life. I am not separate. I am part of something greater. My presence matters. What I bring to this world matters. My healing is not just mine, it belongs to the whole. Take a breath, let that land. We are not separate. I know it looks like we are. Different bodies, different lives, different struggles, different stories. You have your history and I have mine, and the person sitting next to you on the bus has theirs. We move through the world in our own skin, experiencing things from the inside of our own particular life, and it can feel, especially in the hard moments, profoundly, achingly solitary. But underneath all of that, we come from the same source, the same creative intelligence that moves through you, moves through every living thing, expressing itself in infinite forms. And you are one of those forms. Every person you meet is another expression of that same intelligence, another version of that same vast creative organizing force, just with a different face, a different story, a different wound, a different gift. When you truly feel that, not just think it, but feel it in your body, in the way you meet someone's eyes, something changes. The defensiveness softens, the judgment quiets, the competition dissolves. You stop seeing other people's success as something that diminishes yours, and start seeing it as proof of what's possible. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable, and start shining because you understand that your light doesn't take anything away from anyone. It adds to everything. Think about what it would mean to actually live from this understanding, not just to agree with it intellectually, but to carry it with you into every interaction, into the difficult conversations with someone who has hurt you, seeing them as another expression of the same source, doing the best they can from inside their own story, into the moment you feel threatened by someone else's brilliance, recognizing that their brilliance and yours come from the same place, and there is more than enough. Into the moment you feel alone, remembering that you are held in a web of connection so vast and so constant that separation is the illusion, not the truth. It is honestly a very sane way to see the world. We come from the same source. We share this experience, this strange, beautiful, difficult, extraordinary human experience together. And there is a collective consciousness, a shared field, a living, breathing connection between all of us that is more real than most of us were ever taught to believe. And you are part of it, fully, completely, always. Say this: I am part of the whole. What I do with my life contributes to everyone's lives. When I heal, the collective heals. When I expand, I create space for others to expand too. I am not separate, I am connected, always. Then this: I see other people as expressions of the same intelligence I am. I meet them with openness, I meet them with generosity, I meet them with the understanding that underneath everything we are on the same side. And this: to help one is to help all. To heal one is to heal all. Every act of genuine love, every moment of real truth, every time I choose light over fear, it matters beyond what I can see. I trust that. I saw this so clearly in my own life, but it took a while to get there. I had been doing comedy since my 20s, Making people laugh had always come naturally. It was the thing I reached for, the way I connected, the way I broke the tension of a seriously serious world. But for a long time, even as I was performing, there was a gap, a distance between the person on stage and the person I was carrying around underneath. I was funny, I was engaging, but I was performing around the truth rather than from it, because underneath it all I was still running those beliefs. I'm not good enough, I'm too much, I'm unlovable. Not loudly, quietly, in the background, shaping everything. I could make a room laugh and still go home and feel hollow. I could perform confidence and still secretly scan every face for the one person who wasn't convinced. I was giving people a version of me, a curated, funny, manageable version, not the whole thing. Then I went to Canada. I did my therapeutic training. I sat with those beliefs, really sat with them, and I did the work. Slowly, honestly, sometimes painfully. I went into the places I had been avoiding. I looked at the things I had been carrying, and I named them, and I questioned them, and I chose something different. I reclaimed parts of myself I had been hiding for so long I had almost forgotten they existed. And something shifted. A few years later, I was performing my comedy therapy show in Manchester, and it dawned on me that what I was doing was different. I wasn't performing around anything. I was standing in the full truth of my own story, the addiction, the shame, the searching, the falling apart and putting myself back together. And I was turning it into something that made people laugh and cry and feel less alone all at once. I remember looking out at the room at one point and just stopping for a second inside myself. Not on the outside. On the outside I kept going, kept the rhythm, kept the energy moving. But inside something went very still and very clear. I could feel the room changing. Not because of the jokes, because of the truth underneath the jokes. Because I was standing there completely undefended, completely exposed, completely myself. And that was doing something to the air. I could see it in people's faces, the way they were leaning forward, the way some of them had tears running down their faces while they were laughing, the way the woman in the third row had her hand on her heart. Shame was lifting, not just mine, everyone's. Self-rejection was softening. The things people had been carrying quietly, privately, alone, they were becoming lighter in the room. Not because I had fixed anything or solved anything or said anything particularly wise. Because I was being fully myself, completely, unapologetically, vulnerably myself. And that, just that, gave permission to everyone in that room to do the same. That was the moment I understood what this work actually is. It's not comedy, it's not therapy, it's energy work. It's one person deciding to stop hiding and watching that decision ripple through everyone around them. It's the most ordinary and most extraordinary thing I know how to do. Say this now. I uplift others by being myself. I do not need to fix or perform or be anything other than what I am. My full, honest, expressed presence is enough, more than enough. It is the gift. Then this. When I own my story, I give others permission to own theirs. When I stand in truth, I make truth feel safer for everyone around me. My willingness to be seen is an act of service. My light is an act of love. And this, I do not need to reach millions to matter. Every person I touch with my presence, my honesty, my light, that ripple goes further than I will ever see. I trust the reach of living in truth. Let me tell you about a woman I have never met. When I first started showing up on Instagram, I had around 1,000 followers. And I made a decision, quiet, privately, completely uncommercial, that I was going to commit to putting love into the world every day. A reel, a message, something real. And I was going to release all the attachment to views, likes, reach, numbers. I was just going to do the work, show up with vulnerability and humour and truth and let it go. No strategy, no algorithm chasing, just love, offered freely every day. And one day a message arrived from a woman in the United States. She asked for my address, and then she told me why. She said, "Your reels have helped me to see that I'm not a piece of shit, that I am worthy of love." She had named a star after me, Lizzie Allan Vision, registered it somewhere in the vast catalogue of named stars, not that anyone can own a star, not that it changes anything physical about that particular point of light in the sky, but she wanted me to have it. She wanted there to be something permanent, something named, something that said, "You did this for me, and I want you to know." And I sat with that for a long time, not with pride, with something quieter and more important than pride, with the understanding that I had been showing up in my pajamas, talking into a camera about the messy, honest, sometimes hilarious reality of trying to live a conscious life. And it had reached a woman on the other side of the world at exactly the moment she needed it, and it had helped her feel worthy of love. That is the reach of this work. That is what happens when you stop performing and start being. When you release the attachment to how it lands and just keep showing up with what is true. Now at over 163,000 followers, I receive messages regularly. People telling me I helped them through their darkest times. That something I said at 3 a.m. when they couldn't sleep was the thing that kept them going. That my light, my specific, particular, unrepeatable light was what they needed in that moment. And here is what I have learned from all of those messages. Something I could not have understood before I lived it. When I was going through my darkest times, when the fear was loudest and the uncertainty was greatest and the path forward was least visible, being a light for someone else was the light I needed for the next 200 yards. That's the metaphor I keep coming back to. Driving at night, you can only see as far as your headlights reach, 200 yards, maybe a little more. You cannot see the whole road, you cannot see the destination from where you are, but 200 yards is enough. You drive that far, and then you see the next 200 yards, and then the next. Being the light for others has given me enough light to carry on. Every message that said, "You helped me," was also the universe saying to me, "Keep going, this is real, this matters, 200 more yards." And when I shine my light, others shine theirs back. That is not a metaphor, that is the actual lived, experienced truth of what happens when you stop hiding and start contributing. The light multiplies. It comes back to you from directions you didn't expect, in forms you couldn't have predicted, at moments when you needed it most. There is a star up there called the Lizzie Allan Vision Star. Again, no one can own a star, but it's a light, and I am that light for you. And you, reading this, doing the work, choosing this path, are that light for me. We are in this together. I know it deep in my soul. Say this: my life is a contribution. Every time I show up fully, every time I choose truth over fear, every time I let my light be seen, I am contributing to something larger than myself. I am part of a movement of healing, and my part in it matters. Then this: I shine my light and others shine theirs back. The light multiplies. What I give returns to me in ways I cannot predict and moments I cannot plan. I give freely. I receive freely. We are in this together. And this: I only need to see the next 200 yards. That is enough. I show up, I shine, I give what I have, and then the next 200 yards become visible. I trust that. I keep going. Because this is where people hesitate. They feel the call to expand, really expand, fully express, stop holding back, and then they shrink, they dim. Something pulls them back just as they're about to step forward, and they tell themselves it's modesty, it's being realistic, it's not wanting to seem too big for their boots, too full of themselves, too much. But I want to look at that honestly for a moment, because real humility and self-diminishment are not the same thing, not even close. And we have confused them for so long that most people can't tell the difference anymore. Real humility is knowing where your gifts come from. It's recognizing that the intelligence, the creativity, the love, the light you carry, you didn't manufacture that. It came through you, not from you. It is creative intelligence expressing itself in the particular, unique, unrepeatable form that is you. Real humility bows to that. Real humility says, "This was given to me and I will honor it by using it fully." Diminishment says something different. Diminishment says, "I'll make myself smaller so nobody feels threatened. I'll hold back so nobody thinks I'm arrogant. I'll dim so nobody has to feel the discomfort of my brightness. And it dresses itself up as consideration, as thoughtfulness, as not wanting to take up too much space. But here's the truth underneath it. When you dim your light to make others comfortable, you are not being kind, you are being afraid. You are letting fear make the decision and calling it virtue. And the cost to you, to the people who needed what you had to offer, to the collective field that needed your particular frequency, is real. It's just invisible, which makes it easy to pretend it isn't happening. The world is not short of people playing small. It is desperately short of people willing to be fully, unapologetically, vulnerably themselves. That is the rarest and most needed thing. That is what changes rooms and changes lives and changes the quiet, invisible current of what's possible. So when the pull to shrink comes, and it will come, because old patterns don't disappear overnight, recognize it for what it is, not humility, fear, and then make a different choice. Say this out loud and mean every word. My light is needed. I allow myself to shine fully. I express myself freely and abundantly. I am not here to play small. I am not here to hide. I am here to contribute everything I am to the world that needs it. Then this. I release the fear of being too much. I release the fear of being seen. I release every story that has kept me dimmed. Playing small serves no one. My full expression is an act of love. I shine fully, freely, without apology. And this. Real humility is not making myself less. Real humility is honouring what has been given to me by using it completely. I honour my gifts. I honour my light. I honour the intelligence that made me exactly as I am. And now, the last thing I want to say to you. Not as a chapter, not as a lesson, just as one human being to another, at the end of something that I hope has changed you in ways you're only beginning to feel. Be generous with your love. Give it freely, without keeping score, without waiting to see if it will be returned. Love people before they've earned it. Love them especially when they're being difficult, because that's when they need it most, and when it costs you the most to give it. Let love be the thing you lead with, always, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. With your light. Don't save it for the big moments, the performances, the presentations, the occasions that feel important enough to justify it. Bring it to the ordinary Tuesday. Bring it to the supermarket and the school run and the conversations you nearly didn't have. Bring it to the person who looks like they haven't been seen in a while. You will never know which moment of light lands in someone's darkness and changes everything. So give it everywhere. With your truth. This one takes the most courage, but it is the most important. Your truth. The real one. The one underneath the managed version you present to the world. Is the thing that connects. Not your polish. Not your performance. Not the version of you that has it all together. The real one. The one that says, I have struggled with this. I have been afraid of this. I have sat in the dark with this. That truth is what makes people feel less alone. And feeling less alone is one of the most healing things a human being can experience. With your story, especially the parts you used to be most ashamed of, those are the parts that do the most work in a room. Those are the parts that make someone in the back row exhale and think, oh, it's not just me. Your shame, transformed, becomes someone else's freedom. Your wound, owned, becomes someone else's permission. Don't waste it by keeping it hidden. And with your presence, just your full, undivided, genuinely interested presence, in a world of half attention and scrolling and being somewhere else while you're here. The gift of truly being with someone, of looking at them and really seeing them, of listening and really hearing them, is rarer than you think and more powerful than you know. This is the work, not just the morning practice, not just the affirmations, not just the inner world you're building. This, the way you move through the world, the way you show up for the people in your life and the strangers you'll never see again and the moments that don't feel significant but are. This is what I mean when I say save the world, not from up here on a stage with a megaphone. From the inside out, one mind at a time. One person choosing a love-based reality when the mainstream chooses fear. One light refusing to dim, One star named in some registry somewhere that nobody can own but everybody can see. That is how the world gets saved. You came into this book at the beginning of something. You have been doing the work, chapter by chapter, belief by belief, choice by choice. And what you have built, this new inner world, this new way of moving, is not just for you. It never was. Say this slowly with everything you have. I am connected to all life. I am part of something greater. My healing ripples outward. My light reaches further than I can see. My presence is a contribution. My truth is a gift. I show up fully for myself and for the world that is waiting for exactly what I have to bring. Then this. I am not here to hide. I am not here to play small. I am here to express creative intelligence fully, uniquely, unapologetically, in my own way. This is what I was made for, and I do it, starting now, starting here, starting with this breath. And finally, the last thing, the truest thing, the thing I want you to carry with you long after you've put this book down. This is bigger than me, and I am ready for that. I am ready to be the fullest, most expressed, most generous version of myself, not for recognition, not for approval, not because someone else asked me to, but because the world needs the light and I have it, and I give it freely, all of it, always. If you would like to download a free copy of this book, go to my website, lizzieallan.com, and find How to Save the World and download your free copy there. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, share with your friends, because this is a group effort. I'm really glad you're here. I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm out.